Awesome. Well, Coach, we'll go ahead and get started. I want to touch a little bit. First season with North Georgia United FC. What drew you to the club initially?
Initially, I spoke with Jonathan about the women's program, which was a couple years ago. I was coaching at the college level on the women's side, and that's what kind of drew me initially to the program. That didn't happen, so I circled back with him roughly about January, February of earlier this year. We talked for a couple months about what he wants to ultimately do with the club, and then before the beginning of the summer, I signed on to be the coach for the season.
What have you been trying to bring in as your identity within the club and trying to give this club an identity, and what has been the playing style? If you were talking to any other fan, what would you explain that as your playing style?
First, I'll talk about the culture and that we and what we try to establish, just in terms of being regimented. We are a professional development league, and so in order to take that next step, you do need to have some regiment and some structure. Not only off the playing field but also on. Our playing style is very aggressive. We're attacking. We're open. If you look at all of our games this season, some for me haven't been thrilling, but for the neutral, you look at 5-3, 4-1, 3-3. Even though that's not a positive result, they're all thrillers, and so we do need defensively to shore it up. But attacking wise, we're very aggressive. We have great forwards, Emmanuel Lam, Ronald, Obi. They've been hitting stride recently of late too in the last couple of games, and so with the firepower we have, why not be an attacking, aggressive team? And now it's just about getting the defensive side together.
You bring him up. I think we have to talk about him. And Emmanuel Lam, last season was the Golden Boot winner. What does he bring to this team?
Most importantly, I talk about his humility. He was the top goal scorer, but he trains like he's wanting to get to the next level. He's a leader in terms of not by vocal, but by his play and by what he does. And it's easy to coach someone like that when he comes to practice every day with a smile on his face, with the right attitude. And then it's easy for the other guys to, I don't want to say fall in line, but fall in line, so to speak, because they see a player of that caliber doing the right things. It trickles down through the squad.
Is it kind of helpful for you, especially coming in, being this new head coach, having a player like him who has been there last season, can kind of be that leader and that voice within you guys?
Big time, because he sees the intentions that we have as well. And so at the beginning of the season, it was very important that we establish the intentions. Hey, we're here for good intentions. We see what you guys are trying to build, and so for us, it's just about developing again. And when someone like that's on board, someone like our captain Ivan, who's been within the club for a couple of years, it's very easy for the rest of the guys to come on board with that. So very thankful for them. Always as a new coach, you're going into the unknown as what are these guys? How are these guys going to react? What are these guys going to think? How are they going to adapt to the new playing style? But we're 5 games in, 3-1-1. It's been a fantastic start. So we're just looking to keep it going.
I've been asking a couple of coaches I've been doing this with, especially about the UPSL and the Georgia division, how competitive it is with so many different teams sprouting around and how competitive it is. So what is it like stepping into this league, especially with how much competition there is? And every game is, like you mentioned, it's a thriller.
It's a thriller. And it's a test too, as well. Not only for my coaching acumen, but for the players. The players are obviously trying to get to that next level. So playing tough teams week in, week out, being able to showcase yourself, being able to see what ultimately the next level is like, even when you get off the field, the recovery, how you take care of yourself, all these things matter. And so for myself, it's been a good eye opener from the coaching standpoint, and then also from the players as well. It's been a good eye opener.
I know you're only a couple of games in, but what has there been a lesson that stuck out to you, especially in these last couple of games, and getting your footing underneath you, especially with starting out with the club?
3-1-1, and that one was a big lesson. And so we played Kalungi profile, and most of the players, obviously, as we both know, go on to the professional ranks. And so for us, that was a good eye opener to see, okay, how do we structure our back line or defensively or just as a unit once we go into games like that. And so the result was a big eye opener. And for us, it was okay, back to the drawing board, and then we can go again. But we did. We rebounced against UMA, and so we have another big test, which is same caliber against the top of the league, Dalton United. And so we take the lessons that we learned from Columbia Pro Profile into this game, hoping that we do better.
I want to touch a little bit on that next match for you guys. You guys are away. You guys go to Dalton. What do they bring? What are some of the things you guys have been looking at, and especially heading in and going into their home turf?
Tough team, and then the rivalry game too as well. You know, I've been caught up to speed a little bit about what that rivalry means for North Georgia and for Dalton. We played them in the preseason, and it wasn't a preseason game. It was definitely a rivalry. You could see that very early. And so for us, we took a little bit of the preseason game and what we've learned, but then also we've realized that they've played multiple games. They're a very good team, dominant on the ball. We'll look to overload multiple sides, predominantly on the left. And so what we'll do is we'll, again, just be defensive, be very defensive within our structure, and then look to exploit when we can. And hopefully we get a result. But it's going to be a tough game.
Looking at the challenges, I feel like a lot of teams, it's a big thing, goals win you games, but also too, you got to have the defensive side there. What has it been like, learning those lessons that you have against Kalonji, against these other teams? How has it been kind of reshaping that defense and kind of trying to figure out what is the best fit for you guys?
Throwing multiple personnels at it to see what sticks. Over the first couple games, it was 3 goals conceded. And from a standpoint as a coach, you just can't accept that. And so for us, it was, okay, what are we doing wrong? What structurally are we doing wrong? What personnel? I wouldn't say we're doing wrong, but can we move to adjust so that way we can get the best out of their defensive structure or that defensive ability? And so for us, over the last couple of games, the last goal conceded 1. And I think that had to do with, again, with our little bit of our playing style. We're more on the front foot. We're more aggressive at the top end of the pitch. And so for us, that kind of helped.
Absolutely. And my last couple questions for you. It's so interesting. We talk about the development, I think, of soccer here in the state as a whole. It's grown, I think, tremendously from a couple of years ago to then obviously now, especially, with the Georgia UPSL division. You got so many great clubs forming there. You have Atlanta United too. You have the Academy, Atlanta United, obviously. What has it been like, I guess, for you stepping into this new coaching role, seeing this growth of soccer here in the state and being a part of one of the big teams that's a part of it?
It's big. Not to mention the NISA League too as well. You got Georgia FC, the Savannah Clovers, I think. And so there's multiple leagues. And so I'm happy to be a part of it. I see the structure that is growing, not only within Georgia, but within the United States. As a young kid who came over, and just to see the growth, I came over when I was 17. And so to see the growth that has happened just within the last couple of years, not only on the men's side too, but the women's side is very important. So again, I'm very, very happy about that and the structure that it's providing and the opportunity that it's providing players and coaches alike. So very happy to see that.
You gotta. Some of these WPSL games are so fun. I had the chance to call a couple, Georgia Impact and Chattanooga FC. It's fun. You got Decatur as well. It was such a fun summer getting to see all those teams like sprout up and it just shows. It's just so fun getting to see the game grow, not only at the men's level, but the women's level too.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Coach, thank you so much again for your time. Looking forward to the match this Saturday and good luck.
Thank you, Madison. Thank you so much for having me.